What's up? It's Mayan with RVMax.us, and today we have quite a treat. This is a 2022 Newmar King Air 4531. And I would argue, and I think a lot of people in the industry would argue, that this particular coach, this one right here, is better than going and buying a brand new one. It's not only because of the depreciation, but it's the fundamental aspect of actually going and using it. This coach is not right off of the factory line, where a lot of coaches that come off the factory line, it doesn't matter how much money you spend on one, you're gonna most likely have kinks to work out. We've heard all kinds of stories from coaches that are 50 grand all the way up to coaches that cost you $2 to $3 million. But that's just the reality. These are man-made machines. This one has barely any miles. It's only got 4,000 miles on it. But it's literally the perfect amount of use, just enough to work the kinks out. It's like basically you bought a brand new coach here and then you paid someone to go camp in it once or twice and hey, make sure it's all good for me, take it up with the warranty, and then let me take it from there on. Hey, that's already been done. You come step in and go use it and have fun. Now on top of that, it does have a year warranty from Newmar. And in addition to that, we have an entire extra year that was bought to protect you on this bus. So it's still currently under the factory warranty, but after that goes out, you have a whole other year of bumper to bumper coverage on this coach. So you don't have to worry at all. There's no anxiety going out and camping. And if you're gonna have some big catastrophic failure, which is low likelihood, but it can happen. And if it does, it's not on your dime. Now up front, we've got a 12.5 Onan quiet diesel generator. The entire face of this bus will come out on a slide. It's a hydraulic slide, and it's not just the generator, it wraps around the edges. And this also lets them have more fun with the body styling, because instead of having these big seams here, the seams are around the corner. And they've given it a beautiful look. I think Newmar has some of the most beautiful coaches right now. We've got LED headlights, there's LED running lights, we've got automatic brights. We're gonna talk more about some of the details once we get in the coach. So I might be repeating myself a little bit, but this comes with all the active lane departure systems. It's got collision avoidance, it's got active cruise, it's got the 360 cameras, blind spot detection. There's a million cameras around this coach. So yeah, it's gonna keep you very safe. You've also got these radar sensors. There's multiple radar sensors on both sides. There's 6 in total, and those are what's checking your blind spot. So not only can you see it with the camera, but you've got an extra little system. There's redundancy in the safety features on this bus. There's also haptic feedback in the front chair. So when you're sitting in the driver's seat, if something is in your blind spot, if you're coming out of your lane, the chair will vibrate a little bit. Now up front, we're gonna open this first compartment here. We're gonna talk more about the doors as we get. There's a lot to talk about on this coach. This is mainly front electronics. You can have cockpit fuses. You've got fuses pertaining to like the electric lock on the entrance door, the heated seats, all that good stuff. You've actually got extra fuses over here on the left, and then you've got the control for that big HWH gen slide. Now all of these doors are soft close, so you just click one button, and then to close them, there's no slamming. The old school buses, you've got to give them a real slam because you've got these thick seals that go around all the doors, but not on this bus. All you do is just that, and it sucks it in. Now you've got a stainless exhaust tip for that 12.5 Onan. This has a 5 grand Summit chrome package on the bottom base, and the LED lights are very bright. They're LEDs, and you've got 2 on each side of the coach pointing inwards, so you can clearly see where your dump bay is going to line up as you back into the spot. And the side docking lights, in addition to the 360 camera system, it takes most all of the stress out of parking this thing in any campsite out there. Now right here we've got our dual fill fuel tank. So you can fill it from both sides. I also like the little stainless safety bit that we have on the fuel fill up and the def fill up. So when you stick your fuel nozzle in there, it's not gonna smack on your fiberglass. It's gonna hit that little protective piece there. Now they've upped the game as far as tank sizes on this coach. We've got 200 gallons of diesel fuel capacity. We've got 105 gallons of fresh, which is about average, but where the tanks get very big are in our gray and black size capacity. We've got 80 gallons of gray and 60 gallons of black. So this is gonna let you last, if you're smart and you do it right, and this is equipped with some nifty features we're gonna see on the inside to conserve water. This can last you potentially weeks if it's 2 people. So first bay here on the driver's side behind the front axle, we've got our pressure washer system. This does have a built-in infrared cleanser that is after the whole coach water filtration. So that infrared is gonna kill a lot more bacteria and other stuff after some of the bigger debris has been filtered out of it. But this pressure washer is nice. It's on a reel. I think there's over 50 feet of hose length. I can't remember, but there's a lot. And all you do is reel it out. You just pull this out. And yeah, they also used a very high quality rubber here. They didn't cheap out anywhere on this coach. Let's roll this back in. There's also space here if you ever wanted to. You could add another fresh tank here, especially since we've got this easy to use valve system here. If you wanted to add an additional fresh tank, quite easily could slap one right there. All of these buttons, by the way, for the soft close have a little blue light that illuminates them at night, so you can clearly see where to press the button at night. Now this is our first pass-through storage compartment. We've got electric trays that will go out on both sides. And I love the fact that they finished the bottom of these trays with that same sort of tweed material that covers the rest of the bay in here. And we've got a bunch of extra tiles here too that go in the coach. They're still in the wrapper. In fact, a lot of things are still in the wrapper on this coach. Many of the screens inside still have wrappers on them. This is our second pass-through storage compartment. And of course, you know what happens, it comes out, via button. But if you look down in here, on each of these pillars, first of all, these are adding strength to the chassis, which is good to see. They didn't just throw you a Spartan K3 and left it alone. They've added a lot of these, some people call them outriggers, but what they're doing is taking outer stress and allowing the chassis to sort of be more connected. Basically, the more connectivity you've got in your chassis, the more stress-bearing chassis you've got, the better the overall ride quality is going to be. So it's nice seeing that. But the storage is huge, and there's LED light strips in there, so it's very bright at night. There's also a plethora of outlets in here. All right, now this section is where we get this unique door. There's a term for this type of hinge, and I'm blanking on it, but basically the door drops down as you open it, which just gives you a little better access once you get it open and gets it under the slide pretty comfortably if you're trying to get in here with the slide out. But this is our 50 amp power cord reel. It's on an electric reel. There's a built-in surge guard protector, automatic transfer switch over there on the left. This coach has over $60,000 in options. One of the many options is this buddy plug right here. So if you've got a friend with a trailer, or if you just have your stacker trailer or your additional trailer, you can quickly just plug it in right there. This is very beneficial whether you're dry camping or not, but especially if you're dry camping. Some well thought out Newmar stuff. So a lot of people can produce a coach that looks beautiful, shiny, all that good stuff. They can throw all these great systems, but the devil's in the details when it comes to these high-end coaches. And one of my favorite things about Newmar is they make a luxury coach that's also practical. Because in the end, as beautiful as this bus is, it's made to go down the road and be your home wherever you park it. And when things fail, you don't know where you're gonna be. And this coach is under warranty, as mentioned. So you don't have to worry about stuff if things are gonna break. And it's got that additional warranty. So once it gets out of the factory warranty, you've got even more coverage. But when you're on the road, time is a thing. You need to keep going. This brings me to our dump valve. So we've got push button electric dump valves for black and gray. But the way they've set this up is if the electric part ever fails, all you need to do is undo this little tab here, twist it, and you've got a manual valve. So basically you've got manual dump valves here that have the electric part added to it. So it acts and behaves like a typical electric valve. You click a button, it dumps. You can do it from wherever you want. But if it ever fails, you're not totally screwed. Like you are on a lot of other high-end coaches. If that electric dump valve breaks, you got to call a tech. On this coach, if the electric dump valve breaks, you're in the middle of Utah somewhere, you just open this up, flip it, pull it out, you're done. It's pretty simple. And you're gonna see that value throughout the coach. That's something that Newmar is big about and really sets them apart from a lot of other manufacturers. Access to components is excellent, access to electronics, serviceability, their tech support over the phone, not only Newmar, but Silverleaf. So you're not just buying the product, you're buying the whole package and experience around it. But anyway, so you've got a digital screen here. You can measure tanks. It's got auto fill, so you click a button from inside if you want, and it will automatically fill up the fresh tank if you're plugged into city water, so you can fill up right before you go, and then it'll shut it off. Over here, we've got a mana block. It's a pretty standard feature on a high-end coach, so you can shut off individual leaks and keep rolling. There's a built-in little paper towel dispenser up there, which I like. And this is all finished in this nice sort of brushed stainless, which means it's not going to corrode, and it still gives you the high-end look that you get from using a metallic material out here. Now here you just got basically all your typical valves you're going to have, low point drains. You've got black and gray flush, and yeah, it's just kind of being covered with this nice looking stainless piece. It's also already set up to be easily winterized. Again, things that you got to take into account when you buy. It doesn't matter how much money you spend on a coach, you still have to do certain things. This is luxury and practicality. So not just with this hose, of course, but with all the rest of the design of the coach. Look at the shower head. That is a mean shower head right there. And yes, there is a macerator pump. There's an electric reel for your water hose. I like that this has this sort of insulating extra cover on top of the macerator dump hose. All right, so this is a huge trick that is hidden up this 2022 King Air sleeve. This generation, they have swapped. Instead of having 16 batteries here, we've got 2 lithium-ion battery packs. So this is a huge upgrade in system. So before we had about 10 kilowatts of power with those 16 batteries. Now we've got 30 kilowatts. And you can use them for longer because, as everybody knows, you can't drain AGMs to the point that you can drain lithiums. Now, this is set up with a never die system, of course, because everybody knows you don't want to kill your lithium, so it will never let you kill them. It's basically set up to use seamlessly. If you had a coach with 16 batteries and now you're coming up to this lithium ion pack, the only thing you're going to notice is that you've got a whole lot more battery power. Now you can run 2 rooftop air conditioners, and it's less maintenance long term. But yeah, big plus, very nice. I like that the tweed has been finished out in here. The old battery bays felt more industrial. They felt more like you would typically see a battery bay, but this actually looks more finished out than previous generation King Airs, which I like. And it might just be the material that's making me really fall for it, but it looks so nice when you open up in here. But yeah, in addition to those, you got to have inverters. You've got 2 3,000 watt inverters on this coach. Work pretty seamlessly. Little storage area in here. You can do whatever you'd like with that. This has dual fill for the DEF tank. So the DEF tank is on the other side of the coach, but you can fill it from here. And again, with the stainless protectors. Now these have Alcoa Durabrite wheels, so they have been coated. I like also they finished these last couple of little pieces here in stainless, which is hard to notice sometimes because there's a lot of reflection going on this coach, but anyways. Now the window awnings on this side, before we move on, there's a million things to talk about. I want to talk about the windows a little bit. These are bonded windows. These are more like a automotive style window, and they are huge. They also give the bus a really slick look. And you've got these huge flat arm Girard window awnings with built-in LEDs. So the window awnings, in addition to all the other awnings having LED strips, the window awnings also have LEDs in them. And compared to the old ones that had the arms that were very unreliable, these are a big upgrade from the previous generation window awning package. So around back, we've got the legendary now, especially after all the revisions. It was already a great engine in the get-go, but they've made these subtle revisions over the last, I think, almost 20 years they've had this engine. It's called the X15 now. It's a 15-liter engine. It's making about 2,000 pound-feet of torque, and of course 605 horsepower. It's mated to a 6-speed Allison transmission. It's the 4000 series Allison, which is the top-of-the-line Allison transmission you're going to get in any motor coach. And this gives us a 20,000 pound tow capacity. Now, when you have 20,000 pounds in tow capacity, you can't just have the engine and the guts, right? This has the engine and the guts and the chassis, but you also have to have braking power and chassis strength along with the sheer brute of the drivetrain. So we've got steel rotor brakes all the way around. There's no drum brakes. We also have huge axle ratings, and then we have massive tires in addition to all of this. And there's so many other things. We've got active air ride management, so when you load it up back here, it's gonna mitigate that. It does have a heavy tow mode, which is kind of new on these King Airs, which forces the air ride to do some extra little stuff. when you load up a huge stacker trailer back here. But yeah, so it's not just the guts, it's all the other chassis, suspension, and braking that allows you to comfortably tow 20,000 pounds here. And I haven't even talked about the massively powerful 3-stage exhaust brake. Massively powerful 3-stage exhaust brake. That's a huge plus when you're towing a lot. Now the King Airs have air raised rear engine hatches, which is so very fitting on a proper air ride bus, and it reveals a gorgeous engine bay. Lots of access back here. Above, we've got our egress door that Newmar has become very popular. Now right here, we've got our 15-gallon DEF tank that you can fill from either side of the coach. And there's also easy access to emergency air inlets in case you need to have the coach towed for some reason and the engine isn't running. Again, we've got steel rotor brakes all the way around. Obviously, there is a tire pressure monitoring system. And I love these little extra bits of chrome that go around the wheel arches. They just highlight the wheel arches very nicely. So every single awning on this bus is made by Girard, including the window awnings, which are these super slick, armless window awnings that have built-in LEDs in them. This is the other side of our battery bay here. So we've got our two 3,000 watt inverters up top, and this is a thermostatically controlled bay, so it will keep the temperatures in there proper. Now this compartment here is a nice little utility compartment. Interestingly, these stainless racks were previously optional on this bus, but now you get it standard, and they're very well built. They're stainless, and these Gladiator racks are made to change, where you place these shelves. So you can easily use this as a nice utility bay. That's always what I've had in mind. You use it to put tools, cleaning supplies, whatever. But whatever you want to do, you can use this bay to your advantage. But right here, we've got a very nice Dometic refrigerator. Slides out on a tray, and it slides way out. You can easily get to the whole thing. It can be a freezer, it can be a refrigerator, whatever you like. You do have a central vac. This is where the central vac is located, and it does have a port on the outside, so you can vacuum anything outside and your bays. And then over here, you've got extra outlets, and then you've got your Oasis 85,000 BTU system. So you may wonder, why do you need 85,000 BTU? If you've got the previous generation systems, they have 50,000 BTU, and they still have the same two 1,500 watt immersion element, which lets you heat the boiler fluid just using the electric elements instead of the burner. So why does it need 85,000 BTU? Well, what that means is this system is not going to run as much. It doesn't need to run as much. And one of the biggest annoyances to the system, if there's any annoyances, is the fumes. When you're hanging out and you've got your diesel burner putting out fumes, you want it to run less. And again, the 50,000 BTU Oasis were only running for very minimal amounts of time, but going up to the 85,000 BTU, yes, it does give you more furnace heat and more hot water, even though you really didn't need it, but the biggest thing that I like about it is it's going to be running less. Now let's slide this back in. Now this is new on this generation. We've got these extra racks up top, finished in that beautiful material. We've got our electric slide tray down here below. There's an emergency awning rod, so you can easily, well not easily, but more easily reel in your awnings if any one of them breaks. It's another big benefit of having all Girard awnings. They all have the same emergency system set up. So again, pass-through storage, electric tray comes out on this side, big storage, automatic lighting. Up above, we've got a big 4K Samsung Smart TV, built-in Bose sound system. You can play Bluetooth radio, you can hook it up to the TV, but you can absolutely jam out here. And it's well finished too. They've used this nice material here. It just looks nicer than some of the other plastics that you'll see in these outside TV compartments and other manufacturers. We also have extra outlets here, USB outlets, and regular outlets. Close this down, and we'll get to our front large extra storage bay. There's a lot of storage in this outside compartment area. It's pretty incredible. Extra parts for the slide outs, and this generation they have upgraded this slide out mechanism. It doesn't use the old system they had to roll this slide out. They changed it, and I believe it's actually hydraulic, which is a big upgrade in my mind. I didn't like that old system that they used. This was too big of a slide to use that system. And yeah, they just, again, constantly improving, constantly improving. Dual fill, again, for our 200-gallon fuel tank. Huge 365, 70, 22.5 size tires in the front. They give it a huge track. And over here, we've got this designer handle. It's all well lit. It's got this very interesting design inside. It does have keyless entry. There is a doorbell, and there is a dedicated camera pointing right at the front door. So you know exactly who's coming in through the internal touchscreen. You can see the camera system. You can also see this camera right here. You can actually utilize all the cameras around this coach, and it's part of its many safety features that the coach has. But this has the HWH auto leveling step. The step is huge, it's substantial, and it just makes you feel, I don't know, pretty special. It feels like a spaceship when you open this thing up. Ah, and then you look inside, you're like, oh my gosh, it is a spaceship. All right, well, you know, like I said, there's a lot to talk about out here, and I'm definitely skipping over a lot of stuff, but I'm enjoying myself right now. This is a beautiful bus. Let's go take a look at the inside. All right, welcome inside. This coach has one of those interiors that takes a long time to take in. Newmar has given you everything. This is the top of the line Newmar product. This coach, the interior is quite insane. Everything has been changed around the windows too. The previous generation Newmars had a totally different window setup, and I like this much better. This feels more sleek, feels more elegant. There's a lot of natural lighting in here. This is full grain, real leather, and this is a big plus. This is one of the best double love seats you can get in a bus, hands down. It's heated, it's got vibrating feature at different levels. Now you open up this little center console, there's a little convenient outlet set up here. You've got 2 USB ports and 2 general, just regular 110 household plugins. The windows are magnificent. So obviously, you can tell from the outside that they've changed the windows out, but from the inside is where you get all the benefit. And it's not just the massive windows, which are pretty obvious, but it's also the window sills. These are finished in these little stainless pieces. It feels more like a high-end luxury coat, you know, because it's serving a genuine purpose. It's letting in a lot of natural light, and it's finished out well, but it's pretty subtle too. You know, you just have a nice stainless sill all the way around. Gives it a good look. The amount of stainless in here is actually a lot, but it's not in your face. It's done in a really cool way. For instance, the ceiling. So we've got hidden vents throughout this coach. You don't see these big plastic vents. In fact, where the outlets and intakes are actually located are finished in wood and not just plywood. It's the same wood that you find in all your cabinets. But yeah, these are all stainless. This beautiful design up here, along with these outer trim pieces. And I love the fact that even up in here, if you touch this, this is finished in like a cushioned leather. I mean, you're not gonna see it. You do see kind of a reflection of it. And again, this is why it takes so long to take in all the details. But as one put together interior, when you walk in here, it blows your mind. Another thing that's really cool about this 2022 generation, we have a little added interior height on this interior, and you certainly feel it when you're walking through here. Now right over here, we do have a jackknife couch. This is again finished in that beautiful leather, and I love the design that they put on all of the furniture pieces. Kind of ties everything together from the minute you walk in to the entrance door. The leather that wraps the handle matches the design on all of the furniture. But this will jackknife, so the buttons are actually made out of stainless. So all you do is push the button here, and it'll go completely flat. You get the idea. And just a simple operation of these 2 buttons right here reminds you what kind of bus you're in. You're not just pressing some plastic button. These are finished in stainless. That piece is not going anywhere. Now back here, we've got a televator, which you would expect on this bus, and all you do to get it up is you come over to systems in one of your touchscreens and click the button. Now I love this televator because it's extra quiet. You barely hear it operating. And there is a built-in sound bar on the top. So this has a Bose surround sound system up front, big subwoofer, full surround sound system, and that is not just a regular smart TV, because that is an 8K TV. But the screen is huge. It's a slightly different dimension than your typical TV because it's an 8K, and it looks magnificent. Now all of the lighting under these slides, they've switched from the little typical recessed circular lights. In fact, there's very few of those recessed circular lights that you get in most all luxury buses. You still have some of those recessed glass lights in the front cockpit area, but in these slides are these big strips that very cleanly sit up in this ceiling panel here on the slide. I love how it looks. It looks super slick, and it's definitely a step beyond the typical little circle lights that you get in every RV, and they're actually a little more flush mounted than those circular lights. Now on either side of the TV, just click a little button and you've got these two outlets that pop up. Now there's touchscreens everywhere. You're gonna see them as we walk through the coach. These screens do everything, or pretty close to everything as far as operating the coach inside. You've got your light controls, you've got your exhaust fan controls, you've got your shade controls. You can even put out your window awnings using these little touchscreens. You can adjust display brightness by clicking a button there. But yeah, this makes it a lot easier. And also the dimmers are a lot easier to use too, because you just slide on the touchscreen instead of clicking it multiple times or holding and clicking. And then once you go past your dimness level, then you gotta hold it again. And yeah, this you just set exactly to where you want it. Yeah, 8K TV, Bose surround sound system. What more could you ask as far as an entertainment center? And especially considering it's right across the way from our big love seat over there with the dual recliners. Also, the wood in this coach is everywhere. So this has a $37,000 upgraded wood package. This is not your standard King Air wood package. Not that there's anything wrong with the standard King Air wood package, but you're not gonna see another King Air that looks like this one. That's kind of the special trait about this particular bus. And having that big upgrade option puts that finished wood in places you would not expect. All back behind here, this is all glazed finished wood. This side piece here, when you open up cabinets, back behind the cabinets is all finished out. You'll see this even in the half bath where it's obscure. You open up some random little drawer in the half bath and all of this beautiful wood is finished out in there. So it's one of those things, when you go through the bus, it just contributes to the overall quality feel. Not only do we have Newmar craftsmanship and quality fundamentally, but just the amount of effort they put in putting high-end materials in every little spot they could is quite special. But the most important thing when you find a bus like this is the practicality. It always comes back to that, because in the end, this is a moving house. It's got to operate like a moving house. When you go to get hot water, you gotta have hot water. When you wash your dishes, you gotta have a good space to wash your dishes. When you cook food, you don't care what material it is. I mean, you do, but the most important thing when you're cooking food is countertop space. So this coach, pretty well equipped as far as countertop space. So what you do is you extend this little piece here, it locks into place. You've got an extended quartz countertop piece here, and you're surrounded with countertop. It's super deep back here. You've also got pop-out outlets. And if you're wondering, they actually have little rubber seals around those outlets. So if you spill something, it's not going to get down in there. You can still clean it up before it gets too far. That's something I was wondering about. I was like, this is a kitchen countertop. How can you have that? But if you look in there's like a little rubber seal around it. It's well designed. But yeah, quartz countertops look beautiful. Of course, if you're familiar with quartz, which you probably are, you can do super custom things with it. And this quartz, it just fits everything in here beautifully. It's almost seamless with the wood, but it's set apart with this little warm amber color that's kind of put in there. But this is a big stainless farmhouse sink. We've got this gorgeous faucets, which are throughout the coach, and you have it up here in your sink area too. This right here is a filtered water station. There's an extra filter. So this has a very nice water filtration system before the water even gets up here. But then there's an additional filter right here, so you can have nice clean drinking water. Now cabinet space, yes, there's a lot of cabinet space. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to take these mugs. We're confiscating them, all right? You ain't getting them. But yeah, nice sliding drawer here. There's automatic lights in pretty much all of the cabinets. So when you open up, you've got lights that come on, LEDs. More slide racks over here. And then this is pretty dang slick. You just click this button and it lifts up and out of your way. Now you can manually operate these if you need to, which it's always nice having both electric and manual, and that's something you see throughout the coach as far as how well it's been thought out. They remember very well, Newmar does, that this is it still has to be somewhat of a practical coach. So if one of these electronic systems fail, what's the backup? As you saw with the dump station and the way the dump valves are set up. Now down here we've got Wolf induction stovetop. And I like that they've actually genuinely made these cutting boards. You know, a lot of coaches, people kind of use these as cutting boards, but this has the right material and little inlay there so the juices don't get everywhere. As you can see, around the stovetop, they've trimmed it with stainless, including the burner itself, but they put this extra little stainless piece around, and I think it matches well because, like I said previously, and as you can see, stainless is everywhere. You've got stainless handles here, you've got stainless up in the ceiling as all the beautifying trim work, and I like it because it looks slick and it's also not in your face. I think stainless has looked good forever. Like, when has stainless not looked good? When has it been out of style? Especially the way it's been used in this coach. I don't think it's ever going to age. I think it's quite timeless. Now, all of these drawers have beautiful soft close mechanisms built in, and there's LED trim lighting everywhere, under the couches, around the windows. Up back here, you've got LED trim lights that light this whole area up pretty well. Now, I love that optional window that's in the kitchen. It lets in a lot of extra light, and even though you can't exactly, well, actually, Kaya could see it, no problem. If you're taller and you're standing here, you can't really see it, but it adds to the general ambiance of the coach. And again, being finished in stainless around the window, like all the sills around the windows are stainless finished, it just looks nice. It matches the rest of the coach. More windows, the better. Now, right over here, you have a touchscreen to control, again, just like the rest of the touchscreens, accent lights, shades, the exhaust fans, all that good stuff. This one hasn't even had the wrapper taken off. It's still got its wrapper on it. It's wild. This is a brand new coach, but it's actually better than a brand new coach. Now, right over here was another option. Some people like having the chairs. Me personally, I prefer having the dinette. I think it's more comfortable. I think it's more versatile. And that's generally what the market likes too. Of course, that's kind of personal preference, but it's very well finished out too. You've got beautiful leather. Big thing is there's no stains, there's no marks. It's in mint condition. Again, quartz countertop here, and this will extend. So you just pull this out, and that's all you do. You don't have to do any lock mechanisms. It's got a built-in resistance factor. You put in your leaf right there. You've got two fold-out chairs, and you can easily and comfortably seat 4 people. And again, this is a more obvious place where they would do it, but the wood back here is all finished beautifully, just like the rest of the cabinet work. This is an obvious place they should be doing it, but you're gonna see this everywhere in this bus. Now, there's an extra hair of storage down there, and this little buffet is quite convenient, and it also has a nice little underlighting LED strip there. Just gives it a special look. And yeah, I mentioned the accent lights are everywhere. I don't want to spend too much time on them because I could spend an entire video talking about accent lights, but in between this Alcantara leather piece that you've got wrapped around the windows, you've got a secondary little leather piece, and in between those two pieces is where they fit some accent lights. That, to me, is a big plus because, you know, a lot of times you're gonna have LEDs that are on the window side, and yes, they thought about that. But these LEDs that are on the inside really give the interior all the benefit of having those accent lights instead of just showing the world you've got accent lights. But they also have a whole separate strip of LED that runs on the outside of that piece just for the outside look of the bus. And they're not like regular strips. These have been fitted with special tubes that don't let you see the individual LEDs. That's another nice touch on all of the LEDs in here, including these. You know, it doesn't look like, oh, just a strip of lights. They finished it to where it just looks like beautiful dispersed lighting. Now in here we've got a Viking household refrigerator. Humidity control, all that good stuff you're gonna get on a high-end refrigerator. You've got an ice maker down below, freezer drawer down below, built-in safety lock. Again, pretty standard. I like that the controls are put here. They're very easy to use. The plastic is still on this screen here too. The sticker, this thing hasn't even been unwrapped fully. It's crazy. Now over here, we've got this very nice pantry setup. This has an auto lock. So once you put this in drive, this little bar over here actually comes in and blocks the latches or the slide rails. So if you've got this loaded up, it's not going to just fly out on you. It's going to stay in place. And of course, there's automatic lighting and the whole thing's finished out in wood. You open it up and it's just beautiful wood. It's not like plywood that you'd expect opening up a pantry and looking in there. Now this is where our half bath's located. While we're here, I just want to point out all along the ceiling, you've got this extra little finished wood piece with accent lighting behind it. Just a nice little touch that it gives the whole bus. I like this mechanism. It actually latches. So all you do to unlatch it is pull it like that. But as you can see, when you go in, latched. So watch. She closed. It's a proper automatic latching system. But this half bath is fully finished out. Accent lights everywhere, beautiful wood everywhere. You've got your central vac ports down there below. And this backsplash, oh my gosh, it's such a special backsplash. You see it on the stepwell actually. When you first walk in, the sides of the stepwell have that backsplash. And what it is, they're like hyper shiny, almost like metallic finished little stones that have been put in there, and it gives it a pearl look. They look like pearls. They've got like a shine to them. In fact, I was faked out by them earlier. I had to like put my finger on them to be like, wait, what is that? I'm like, oh, okay, I see what that is. You know, camera is definitely not doing the backsplash justice, and honestly, the camera is not doing a lot of this bus justice, but hey, it's a lot better than pictures. But yeah, we've got push button Dometic toilet. These are porcelain toilets, built-in macerators. Yep, extra drawer there. So yes, they maxed out storage. There's a good bit of width around the toilet too. This is like a custom faucet. You actually turn on down here like that, and then you control the temperature up there. I love this vanity mirror, built-in LED lights. There's a touchscreen in here to control the lighting, control the exhaust fan, and this window will actually open too. So you can have a nice draft of air coming through here. And yeah, I mean, you can see, this is the problem when I get into a coach like this. I don't know, like my brain is just going in a million different places because I could spend an hour talking about the details in this half bath, but I'm not going to. I'm going to save you all your time. I'm going to stay focused here. Condition is mint. I mean, there's not really much to say as far as condition. It's a 2022. It's only got 4,000 miles. The thing is mint. In fact, like I was saying before, I would argue this is probably fundamentally better to walk into compared to a brand new King Air, because the kinks have been worked out. Someone took the hose, they unrolled all the kinks, and they rolled it neatly back in, and that's all they did. It's not like they went and did 20,000 miles. It's got 4,000 miles. It's nuts. They did like 1 or 2 trips. That's it. Anyways, let's take a step into our bedroom. This is an epic bedroom. We have another massive 4K TV here. We've got beautiful quartz countertop there. Lots of drawers, and an optional fireplace. I love this fireplace. And in this coach, with the systems it has, this is really here just for the ambiance. This is not here to put out heat. It does put out heat, all right? You can use it to help you put out heat. But this coach has so much heat power. Like I said, it doesn't need this, but to set the ambiance, it's just perfect. It has different colors. Anyways, you wouldn't think there's cabinets here, but there are. You open it up, huge cabinets. I love how they're mounted there because when they're closed, it just looks like an entertainment center. It doesn't look like, oh, it's cabinets and then they slapped a TV up there. You know what I mean? It looks like a whole proper, you're focused on the TV. There's no noise here. There's no handles here. It's just no noise. It's just TV. And then, oh, okay, you need storage? Practical. We'll open it up. There's storage. And good amount of storage too. We have our control for the sleep number bed. We've got Bose surround sound for the back bedroom alone. So you can jam out back here. And then right over here, you've got a main Silverleaf control unit. So this screen right here controls lighting, controls shades, controls fans, blah, blah, blah. You can even come in here and turn the water pump on. You can start the generator from here. However, up here is a main Silverleaf control system. So you've got 2 of these screens. One is up in the front of the bus, and this is where you see everything. You see your house battery status, you see your tank levels. There's a lot of things you can do with this, but I'm gonna stay on the highlights here for the sake of the video length. So you hit camera. This is one of my favorite things you can do. So you can hit camera, and then you can cycle through all your cameras. You can control all your shades. You can control your door locks. You can control your floor heat. There's 3-zone floor heat in here, one dedicated for the master bathroom. You can control your water pump. It has autofill here, so if you're plugged into city pressure, you can come in here and click. You're about to get up and leave this day. Let me go ahead and automatically fill up the tank before I go. Just click it from inside and do it. Generator automatic gen start settings are easy to use because of the screen. And the preset setting makes sense. You know, they're taking this, they've had this Silverleaf system for over 10 years now. You know, in this form where it's controlling most everything in the bus. So they've been slowly perfecting it. And I like the fact that they haven't changed it. They've stayed dedicated here. They've just been growing it and building and fixing it instead of throwing it out the window and starting fresh with a whole new system. That is a big trait you want to find in any coach you want to buy. And Newmar is the best at that. Instead of throwing out the old, they're going to take what they've got and build on it. If they need to throw something out, they will. But yeah, anyways, so this, which they have, by the way, in the past. They used to use this old leveling system at, 15, 20 years ago. And Newmar learned, oh, we don't need that system. The system's not that great. So they switched to another brand. So occasionally they will switch component brands. But it's good to be aware they're vigilant of that. But yeah, they're going to build on what they've got. And they've got presets here. And what it does is controls multiple settings, Oasis, air conditioners, chargers, generator, and all sets them in different modes according to what you tell it you're doing. If it's indoor and unplugged, if it's outdoor and unplugged. Anyways, there are motion detecting lights in this coach. Over here, yes, you get a big light strip here. Just want to note that, down and around these slides, they've spent a lot of work. There's accent lights, there's stainless, there's wood. It's beautiful. We've got a king bed right here with the quartz that continues up the wall and these absolutely stunning fixtures. They're amazing. I didn't even actually notice this was stainless, but it is. It feels so nice. It feels very high-end. The whole headboard's finished out in this nice, interesting designer leather. Massive windows all around here. So you got an incredible amount of natural light, but the bedroom has a trick up its sleeve. They actually have some of the most beautiful shades that you'll see in a coach. So you come in here, and I'm going to go in and hit bedroom shades, one touch for all of them. And as you can see, these are leather. You've got shades made out of full grain leather pieces. And what they also do, if you just go over here, and what I'm going to do is you can just pop them open a little bit there, and then lets in a little natural light. And it also gives you this amazing sort of household, high-end household look and feel with the way they set. When you're letting in all that light, you've got the visibility out the coach, but you're looking through these beautiful leather blinds. Another nice touch. Touch screens on both sides. You know, previous generations of coach, they'd only give you main controls on like one side. This, you've got touch screens on both sides. So you control lights, control pretty much all the most important systems from these two touchscreens that are on either side of the bed. You also have built-in wireless chargers on each side of the bed. You've got this, which was an added option, extra little storage up above the headboard, which I think was a good idea because more storage the better, and this is kind of out of the way. And obviously it doesn't affect your windows. Extra storage on each side too of the bed. And there's plenty of walk-around space on either side of the bed here. Even with this door here closed, plenty of walk space, king bed. It is a flush tile HWH slide. And they, again, with the increased height that they've given this generation King Air, I'm 5'11" and I'm standing in here. So that should give you a good idea of your height here. If you are, there's a couple inches. I mean, you can be 6 foot and still stand fully under and on the slide. So it contributes to a massive feeling coach. It really reminds me a lot of a Newell coach. Now let's take a step back here. Notice the mirror usage, by the way. We've got mirrors here. And again, this is where that smoked mirror adds to the coach because it's not as in your face as just a straight up mirror. All right, so excellently rolling door. It feels dense and heavy, but it also rolls with a smoothness about it. That's quite nice. Built-in mirror too, so if you roll it this way, there's a full-length body mirror that has the little beveled edges. Now this is where we've got this unique stone tiling. I like that they changed the tile back here. It makes this master bathroom feel more like your own little cocoon back here because it sets it apart from the rest of the coach. It also this fits a bathroom more than that stone tiling up there. This is what you want in a bathroom. It's actually got a little bit of distressed style. It's a distressed style tile. Ah, it rhymes, distressed tile. Distressed style tile. Here I am getting caught in irrelevant sentences while I'm talking about this beautiful bus. But I love how it feels in here. It just feels, again, like its own space. Plenty of space in here. The shower is massive. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. Check this shower out. Full glass enclosed. Glass looks amazing. No stains or anything like that. And it's huge. This is massive. The amount of space you've got in here is nuts. Beautiful tile. This very unique tiling. Built-in, soap and body wash dispenser. You've got this very sophisticated setup here. Rainfall shower, shower head. You can select where you want it to go. There's two different types of water stream that come out of here. And yes, it also has a thermostatically controlled faucet here. So you can set exactly what you want, 100 degrees, 104, and then it will heat up to that exact temperature, regardless of how hot the water is exactly and how cold your tank water is or your city water is. This is a very interesting system. This is called a water miser system. So what this does is it recirculates your hot water back into the fresh tank. So if you're out there dry camping and you want to take a shower, normally you got to run the water until it gets hot. In this system, what it does is you take it over here and put it on recirculate, and I can hear it doing it. And what it does is it recirculates your water back into your tank. So it sucks the water out of the tank and then goes back in the tank. So what this does is it lets you heat it up first before actually consuming any water. Then once it's heated up, you flip it back over and you've got hot water instantly. It's something that adds comfort actually, because you can use this anywhere. If you're just plugged into water too, you can let it heat up and then hit it so you got hot water as soon as it comes out. And it also acts as a conservation tool when you're on the road. But what it's doing is it's adding luxury and practicality. Now that is home run to me. Yeah, massive shower, not much to talk about. There's also a lot of height in here. They have added these, they call it a cathedral ceiling, but basically they've added this whole extra fiberglass cap that sits on the roof. So if you're walking on the roof, you'll notice that the back bathroom has this extra piece that sits on it that gives you extra interior height, because when you walk in here, you step up, right? You step up because your engine's back here. But it doesn't feel like your typical half bath. I've got so much more interior height here. A lot of times you walk in a half bath, the ceiling's right there. I mean, it's almost equivalent to what it is standing on that slide out. Not in this coach. Not in this coach at all. Now right here we've got very high-end Bosch washer dryer stack, as you would expect. There's upper mounting bracket up here, so that's going to add stability to this whole unit when it's in use. Sometimes coaches that don't have the extra brackets, they can kind of shake the coach and cause a bunch of racket. Not this coach, they thought about that. Now over here we've got double vanity with one shared sink, and I think it looks amazing. It's the same material you see in the half bath. It's that kind of beat metal. Looks beautiful. Got that backsplash again that kind of looks like pearls, but they're not. LED light built into the vanity mirror. There's storage over here on the left, and then there's a nice added access point to the back of the washer dryer stack from this right side. Again, Newmar thinking long-term ownership and the reality of making it practical. Give us an access panel. Thank you. There's outlets on both sides. You've got 6 drawers. Extra cabinet here with a shelf in it, also with soft close. So this is all you do, you just go whoop. They're all lit with LED lights, so you open up this cabinet, it's all automatically lit up with LED lights. There's accent lights everywhere. You've got ventilation from the air conditioning back here. It's finished and trimmed in wood. All the Fantastic fans, of course, have the finished wood. And then here's our master toilet. Yeah, again, push button Dometic, built-in macerator. Condition is excellent. Electric shade here. This is our egress door. Big plus to have. And to my left, we've got our wardrobe. So, very nice wardrobe. I like that the wood matches the coach, the rest of the cabinets. Cedar lined. This is a package of all the extra pieces that go with the central vac. And I love how these feel too. They just, look at this. Even this piece down here. So this is where the wardrobe is sliding. It is finished in that high-end wood. I mean, that's ridiculous. But it's what you'd expect out of a King Air. There's also a touchscreen to control everything back here. And yeah, all the hardware is really nice. You're gonna expect that. That is the interior. I'm leaving out a lot of details. This interior is insane. It feels a lot different than the old King Airs. It does still feel like a King Air as far as the fundamental core values of it, but also it's been taken to another level. This King Air generation is not like the previous generations at all. There's so many factors to that I could choose to point out. But one of the biggest, as soon as you walk in here, is the lighting. Look at the window space. Look at the natural light. That added interior height also contributes. This interior is stunning. It's just stunning. There's no other words for it. Let's go check out the cockpit. All right, let's check out this cockpit. So first of all, both of these chairs are heated, ventilated, and have massaging functions. Very comfortable. Now they also both have kick-out recliners, so you can swivel them around, and then you've got two nice recliners that are added to the mix of your interior. They are absolutely beautifully finished, of course. That's my term or phrase for this video today. But right here is the control for the vibration, the massage aspect about it. There's all kinds of different settings, different speeds, different intensities. The cockpit is beautiful. You know, you're going to feel a couple steps up from the Essex, really all around the coach. But yeah, a couple things. We've got Alcantara leather over here to the left. Then you've got this other regular style leather that wraps and encases the whole dashboard. Now to the left, you've got auto tag dump. This does have passive steer. Then you can manually dump it too. There's a 3-stage exhaust brake. Extremely powerful. That's 600 horsepower with almost 2,000 pound-feet of torque. When you throw that exhaust brake in high, it will rip you out of the seat. It's made to have 20,000 pounds behind you. Now this is a 6-speed Allison transmission control. Then you've got your HWH air leveling control right here. Not air leveling, I'm sorry, hydraulic leveling. You can automatically level it. This steering wheel is heated. Nice touch. Answer your phone here easily. Intermittent. Windshield wipers, you can set the exact time in between each windshield wiper pulse. Then this right here you use to control your Silverleaf dash. Dash is pretty slick. We're going to turn that on here in a second. But let's go over all the switch controls first. Now right here you've got, you know, dimness for the backlighting on all the switches and stuff, fog lights, brights. This has auto high beams, so what you do is you just turn it on auto, and if there's someone coming, it will turn off. Everybody knows what auto high beams are. It's one of the first applications, one of the few applications in a motor coach. You've got automatic traction control, you can turn it off. You can use your air horn. You've got a boost, which will go both ways, either house or chassis, depending on what you need. And then there's also a tow mode. This is new in this generation. So what this does is it tells your air system, which is actively monitoring the coach. The air leveling and air ride in this coach is active. It's going to compensate for hills. It's going to compensate if you're going around corners. But when you turn this on, it's going to have the whole coach set to where you can load up the max tow capacity, 20,000 pounds, and it'll be ready for it. It'll be more set up for it. Pretty much adding pressure in the rear axles of the coach. Like the headlight control, straightforward. There's a wireless charging center here. You can put your phone there. This controls the comfort drive. This has, of course, comfort drive. And comfort drive is going to constantly center the steering wheel. And you can turn up the resistance so you can make the steering wheel more stiff in those windy situations or highway situations. And you can turn the resistance way down to the point where you can throw the wheel around like you're backing up a Cadillac. It's pretty wild. This does have push button start. Nice button, it's not plastic. You got your heated steering wheel control there. There are auxiliary defrost fans. There's all kinds of auxiliary defrost fans up here. This basically turns the whole system on. There's 2 different sets of defrost fans up front. Then you've got your dock lights, which are all LED. Courtesy lights. These are like interior lights. You can kind of turn on the accent lights under the seats and stuff like that so people can walk around. Generator start stop, entry lock, shade controls. 2 screens, one dedicated to your camera system, and then you've got one over here which is for your radio, XM radio, navigation, all that good stuff. It's all in one spot. So of course having 2 dedicated large screens for this is quite convenient because you constantly have a feed on your cameras and you don't need to affect those camera feeds just when you want to change the radio. But you can also come over here and use it as a control pad for your cameras. So you can select front camera, side camera, there's multiple side cameras. And then you can also do 360 view. Now 360 view is superb. I know there's a lot of glare here. All right, got some shades so you can actually see. There's our 360 camera system. Right now it's a little jacked up because we've got slides out. But basically it lets you park the thing like you're playing a video game. I mean, you can see everything around you with ease. And also over here on this main screen, which is currently off, it will show you all kinds of stuff. So this is actually glass, and it will show you this view right here, but it'll show individual compartments. So if you have one compartment door open, it will indicate that to you up here on the dash. So that's quite a nice feature because there's a million different compartments outside and you can see individually which one's open, which one's not. And if you're also just parked for the night, you can come up here and check, or you can actually check it from that silver leaf screen back in the back of the coach. So yeah, this digital display is top notch. It also shows you your Mobileye lane departure system. So it'll track the lanes for you. It'll tell you if you're getting outside the lanes or not. It's got blind spot detection with built-in lights in the mirrors. And I also really like that the side camera mirrors in the front are mounted in the mirror. This gives you a little better perspective of the side of the coach. But basically the silver leaf screen shows you all your safety features you've got. It's got collision avoidance, so it'll start warning you when people are stopping quickly in front of you, your lane departure, your blind spots, if your baggage doors are open. Everything is very easy to view in one convenient, quick spot. Now let me show you the passenger side too, because that's really nice. Okay, so the passenger chair is notably wider and more comfy than the driver chair. Nothing against the driver chair, but this is just a wider, bigger chair. It's also got the nice recliner that kicks out here. It's got this screen, which I find most people are going to love, because what it does is not only show you your navigation that's going to pop up on the other screen that the driver sees, but you can also see your entire camera system. So you can sit here and monitor things chilling in the passenger seat. Now over here, we've just got some general controls. Old school classic patio light control. You can either have it as white LED or classic amber if you want. There's map lights, ceiling light controls the main lighting in the ceiling behind us, so you can quickly kill it from here if the lights are bothering your driver. Got your step cover, so this will come in and cover up the steps. Then you've got another wireless charger here, Alcantara leather, free of charge dust. I'm just kidding. And dedicated passenger thermostat controls for the dash AC and heat. Now down here, there's some additional controls. You've got lock and unlock for your baggage doors. I love that they mount it here because you can quickly just open this door and unlock and latch or lock all the compartment doors. You've also got a 12-volt disconnect, and then you've got this beautiful stepwell lighting that you can turn on with a flick of a switch. Now yeah, check out this entrance, right? It's amazing. As soon as you come in, you're just met with this leather that covers this rail. Got Alcantara leather there, the beautiful backsplash tiling that you see in the rest of the coach. And it's just, yeah, as soon as you take one step on the steps, you're like, ooh, this is a different level here, different level.